Donald Trump's most recent remarks about those who served an actual dog whistle concerning his foreign policy should he be elected again? Listen to this.
I have to say, Miriam, I watched Sheldon sitting so proud in the White House when we gave Miriam the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's the highest award you can get as a civilian. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor, but civilian version. It's actually much better because everyone gets the Congressional Medal of Honor. That's soldiers. They're either in very bad shape because they've been hit so many times by bullets, or they're dead. She gets it, and she's a healthy, beautiful woman.
This is not Trump's first time saying things like this about those who served. Remember when he said this about John McCain?
I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
As many of you know, the Congressional Medal of Honor is the highest award a service member can receive, while the Medal of Freedom is the highest honor a civilian can receive. The Congressional Medal of Honor has been awarded 3,538 times. Of that number, 1,525 has been awarded to those who served in the Civil War. The Congressional Medal of Honor was first awarded in 1863 to Jacob Perry, who, like John McCain, was captured by enemy combatants, in this case, Confederate troops. And also, like John McCain, Jacob Perry was tortured over 100 times because the Confederate Army was trying to get out of him the plans of the Union troops, but he didn't divulge that information. Eventually, Jacob Perry was released as a part of a prisoner swap. On the other side is the Medal of Freedom. It was first commissioned by JFK in 1963. To date, over 650 persons has been awarded the Medal of Freedom. Among them is Miriam Adelson. So this stark difference that Trump is drawing between the Congressional Medal of Honor and the Medal of Freedom, does this matter to troops? Do they still support Trump and his policies no matter what he is saying? Recent data made available by Pew Research does suggest that veterans still support Trump regardless of what he has to say about them. So this may not be as much of a vote-changing issue as is popularly believed. They specifically support Trump along 4 policies. Let's take a look at those. Those policies are that placing troops at the U.S.-Mexican border is a great idea. They also believe that withdrawing the U.S. from the Iran nuclear weapons deal was also another great idea. And they also support Trump in banning those of trans experience from the military. And they also support expanding the capacity of the military to include something like a space force. Now, as you can see, veterans support Trump by over 50%, while the U.S. civilian population along these same 4 issues do not support Trump. But when we look at the veterans more closely, particularly along partisan lines, we see that that support is overwhelmingly coming from those who are conservative. Now, with this being stated, does this mean that they believe that Trump is necessarily following the advice of those who serve on the Joint Chiefs of Staff? Not really, because veterans believe that he has made the military stronger, but that he needs to listen to those who are actually in military leadership. So if Trump is not listening to those who are in military leadership, exactly who is he listening to for what should be done overseas as well as domestically within the border of the United States?
He promised to recognize Jerusalem and to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Promise kept. He promised to withdraw from Iran nuclear deal, and promise kept. He promised to bring peace between Israel and Arab nations. Promise kept. And all in Golan Heights, that was a big gift. He promised Golan Heights, and he recognized me.
That was Miriam Adelson. Now, why might she be important to Donald Trump? And why would Miriam Adelson, of all people, be awarded a Medal of Freedom? Well, Miriam Adelson is the principal shareholder in Las Vegas Sands. That is a corporation that has casinos, hotels, restaurants, malls, and other entertainment venues all across the world. But they primarily focus on casinos, that same lane of business that Donald Trump didn't do too well in. But Miriam Adelson is also the majority stakeholder in the Dallas Mavericks, and she has amassed her personal net worth to over $30 billion. So what clues us into the fact that Miriam Adelson just might have the ear of Donald Trump? And how does that connect with what he said earlier, being a dog whistle to those who hear on that frequency and its implications for foreign policy, and how that involves those who serve?